welcome. Today you join me in Old Trafford, Manchester, where I am in a Costco car park. No, I'm not doing any dodgy deals. In fact, behind me I have a Honda NSX. Now, I love the previous Honda NSX, and you might be wondering, why am I in this sort of evening, dark, nighttime, am I doing a video on this? Well, because I've actually spent some time with this car. A really nice owner has chucked me the keys to this and has let me spend most of the evening driving this car about. Basically said to me, Sid, this car is so underrated, you really need to have a go in one of these. So yeah, I thought I'd come and have a go in one. Why not? I really have a soft spot for these. A lot of people say it's a baby Porsche 918. I don't know, because I've never driven a Porsche 918. However, is this car underrated as a supercar? Well, the original Honda NSX was always known for being very, very underrated. It's probably one of those cars at the time it was not appreciated for what it was. Go for an evening drive, no skids, because it's naughty and I'm keeping things professional. We're only doing it on track from now on. So maybe next time Honda UK can chuck me the keys to one of their ones and we'll go out on track and do some proper skiddy stuff. But at the minute, this is just an on-road sensible review. So yeah, let's crack on, let's get straight into it. But before that, let's do a little walk around. Costco car park, lots of cars, and then here is this Honda NSX. Lovely, absolutely gorgeous. On supercars, more supercars need to be spec silver. I know I'm biased, but yeah, I like that. I'm not sure about the front plate. Why do we need front plates on these cars? These things, I know it's obviously for law reasons, but yeah, it's quite cool. But I quite like the fact that the plate sort of blends in with the front bumper. It's really, really cool. Just looks stunning from the side profile, doesn't it? Oh, damn, how can you not like the way this thing looks? I think this looks better than a Audi R8 V10 Plus. Sorry, Audi, but it just does in my opinion. But hey, each to their own. So, twin turbo V6, mid-mounted engine, carbon pack. It's got all the carbon bits on this as well too. Oh, what rubber is it running? Let's see what rubber it's running. Oh, it's got Continental Sport Contact 6. You can spec these with Pirellis, I'm sure, but it does look good. It does look really, really cool. Quite like the number plate as well too. I'm not really a private reg fan, but that looks really, really nice. Out of 10, I'd probably give, styling-wise, a solid 8.5. I just think it looks really, really nice, especially in this spec as well too. But if I show you inside, ta-da! Now, I like this. I really do like this. I mean, it's got a simple center console control. Unfortunately, it does have the infotainment system like the one that you get in the Honda Civic. I don't like that at all. It's just unfathomable, and yeah, it's really, really confusing, and you can't even pair your phone up while you're on the move. I know you're not meant to operate while driving, but you know what I mean. It's just a bit all complicating. However, seating position, typical, nice and low, and Honda have incorporated the same sort of driving position like they had from the original supercar. So you can see out of this car really, really well. It's not very intimidating to drive. You've got the starter button here. In fact, if I hit the starter button right now, car barks to life. However, it barks to life in e-power mode. How weird is that? And then you've got different driving modes here. So it's you've got the dynamic mode, so you can go from e-power to normal to sport plus, and then if you hold it all the way to the right, you then engage track mode for track driving. What do I think of the cabin? It's very un-Japanese in a unstereotypical way. All the buttons feel very European, very nice. However, I suppose this car isn't Japanese after all, is it? In fact, this car was built by Americans. So does it feel very fat to drive? I think we should find out. Right then, here I am in a Honda NSX. The most strange thing is when you hit the starter button, V6 does bark to life. I was hoping it would be in e-power mode. Maybe I'm in the wrong setting, but sometimes it has a mind of its own. Obviously, this car is a hybrid. The electric motor does give the car some assistance. See, it's gone into silent mode. Probably just needed warming up at the time, but the most bizarre thing is you put it in D and off you go. Just like that. Apologies, this is a bit of an evening drive. Yeah, the most bizarre thing is how Prius-like it feels, and I don't mean that in a boring way. It just feels so unnormal. It's interesting driving around the roads of Manchester. It's a bit different to my neck of the woods. It's nice to change places as well, change sceneries every now and then. So, is this a usable supercar that you can drive all the time? Well, yes, it is. Why is that? Because it feels like a Honda. It just feels so normal. You can see out of it really well. It rides really, really well too. Yeah, the steering is very light. There's not much feel from it, but then, you know, the car does feel a little bit inert. And to be fair, I haven't driven this car hard enough to, you know, make any judgments with it, if that makes sense. I've been in the car for like 3-4 hours, but initial impressions is going around the busy streets of Manchester, which is almost like mini London. It's actually bearable. It's more bearable than my Porsche Cayman GT4, but then that's a completely different topic, really. It's amazing how supercars have gone from cars that are meant to be everyday usable, well, not meant to be everyday usable, shall I say, and now are cars that you can just get in and go and drive them like a Golf or a Honda Civic. In fact, maybe that's something you want to add in the comments. Should cars like these be used every day, or should they be cars that should be preserved for weekend drives? Put that in the comments down below. So the V6 engine now barks into life. This V6 turbo engine, a lot of people don't like V6 motors because of the noise. I disagree. I think they can sound alright. Golf R32 sounds good. F-Type V6 sounds good. This one sounds pretty good, to be honest. In fact, if I go into the Sport Plus mode and switch to manual, give it a little bit of a squirt. The amazing thing is the immediacy from the electric motors. It's just instant thrust that you get, and you don't really get this surge of torque like you would get in, say, a McLaren MP412C, where it sort of just holds you down on the road with massive sort of grunt. This sort of just picks up and goes. You're not waiting for that sudden power to kick in. The ride is very well sorted, to be honest. Seats are really nice. They hug you in the right places. I can imagine this is a car that you could put miles on and not feel tired or nausea at all. It just feels like that kind of car. I feel like the car kind of knows what sort of driver you are, and if your inputs are a little bit not how it's programmed to be, it can be either a very sort of forgiving car. However, if you turn the systems off and you know what you're doing, I'm not saying that I know what I'm doing, I'm an absolute idiot, you kind of get that really nice sort of balance, but it's there, and this car's free road tax. On the combined cycle, it does many MPGs. It sounds really good. It revs to nearly 8,000 RPM, makes a great noise. It looks gorgeous. Yeah, I do think this is a very underrated car, and I'd like to put this up against some other cars. Maybe that could be a film that me and Thomas Garner can do. But yeah, driving around the streets of Manchester, you can appreciate what this Honda NSX is all about. And do you know what I like about it? It's very humble. It's not look at me supercar. Yeah, this is a very, very enjoyable road car. Right then, apologies, I've had to conclude on my iPhone on the Honda NSX. So, overall conclusion then, well, around town, driving this car is very un-supercar-like. I know that I keep saying that a lot, because obviously, you know, since the first drive of my McLaren MP412C, in case you haven't seen that video, cars like these are getting well influenced by being usable every day. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that means that you can actually enjoy this, and it does look rather cool. What are the downsides? I suppose some of the interior bits are a little bit low rent, in my opinion, but the way it looks,
The noise is alright, it's pretty good for a V6. It's no R8 V10, but you've got to respect just how different this Honda NSX is to any other car. And when these cars get to about 2-3 years old and you can start picking one of these up for like 65, 70 grand, I reckon they'll become an awful lot of car for the money. However, when they cost brand new, the best part of £150,000, it doesn't become that much of a bargain. Apologies, it's just a sensible drive review. Hopefully later on in the future, we will do some track content. Until next time, folks, hope you've enjoyed this. Like, subscribe as always, keep it sideways, take care.